Before we get started on this episode of Real Nerds Podcast, remember you can connect to the Real Nerds in many ways. You can follow us on Twitter at Real Nerds. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. You can also call us 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic-Con 2016 and beyond. I am Ryan. With me is
James.
And just James today. We were kind of hoping that we would have a horror film expert with us today, but he works at nights and he said he had some stuff to do.
Yeah.
But he was going to school us on Italian cannibal films, which is basically what the Green Inferno is inspired by. In fact, during the credits, at the end, they said, hey, you should check out these cannibal films to kind of give you a reference point.
Yeah.
So his name's Tommy, and he'll be on soon. He's a really big horror guy, and he is the kind of man where if you haven't heard of a horror film and you want to know if it's any good, he definitely knows what you're talking about. So hopefully we can get him on very soon.
Yeah.
I know he's going to be at Mile High Horror,
Cool.
which you're actually going to be out of town, I guess, for now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to see if I can get Adam Green on the podcast.
That'd be cool.
Man, I'm going to be busy next weekend. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh well, good times.
That's how it
I
goes.
guess I should see.
So I think what you're saying is that you saw Green Inferno this week?
I did. I saw every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. Except this week, because James is a pussy,
Whoa.
We saw separate movies.
We did.
James went and saw Everest,
Right.
which didn't look.
Which is a movie where a bunch of people go out into the wilderness and die.
Yep, and it didn't look that good to me. It looked like Roland Emmerich directed it, and all I can see is that when they're climbing the mountain and the storm's coming in, it just reminded me of The Day After Tomorrow when they're running away from the cold.
Yeah.
But hey, lots of good actors, and you know what? I'll probably end up seeing it anyways. But
And you went to see Green Inferno,
the Green Inferno with
which
Tommy,
is a movie about people who go into the wilderness and die.
yeah, and get eaten.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
it was directed by Eli Roth, and did you see that Eli Roth
Favorited your tweet? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was favoriting every tweet about his movie, but still.
I don't care. Man, I'm on a roll though, because I also got Adam Green to favorite one of my tweets. Uh-huh. Now Eli Roth.
You want to hear something really funny?
Horror film guys, yes.
Okay, so quick anecdote.
It better be quick.
Nah. It's a podcast. We can talk as long as we want. And we're the only two people here, so know it'll be short. Because we're usually the people who talk the least. And so last night I go to see Everest, and as I'm sitting there waiting for Rafe to come in, I was sitting not quite in the seats that I always like. I was sitting just slightly to the right. Mm-hmm. And
so row 4, was it like seat 14?
Yeah, it was D. Yeah, it totally was. 15 and 16, but yeah.
15 and 16.
I would have liked to have been in like 12 through 14. Yeah. But 12 through 14 was taken. And 12 through 14 was taken by this family called the Melkonians, and I watched them walk in. Debbie Melkonian.
You know their name
because Debbie Melkonian, this is the story.
Okay.
Debbie Melkonian babysat me when I was a kid.
Oh.
So, I've known their oldest daughter. I remember when she was born. She's 22 now. Makes me feel very, very old. And so it was crazy. So I'm sitting there, and for the 30 minutes before the show, I'm sitting there talking to the Melkonians, who I see like once a year, maybe. Come to find out, you know who they went to school with? Speaking of people that we've talked to on Twitter? Scott Derrickson.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
They know him, like John, her husband, almost went to film school with him. Like, oh yeah, it was really cool. So I told him, I was like, I'm gonna call in a favor someday.
Right?
Like, it's gonna happen.
Can we get on the set of Doctor Strange?
Right. Right. I know. John goes to me, he's like, you know what he's doing right now? I was like, yeah, I know what he's doing. He's in London. I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, he's prepping for a Marvel movie. I was like, yeah, I know.
We know.
I'm very excited.
Give us his email.
Right. But yeah, no, anyway, Twitter is cool, and Eli Roth is, I just don't like torture porn movies. And
It's not a torture porn.
See, I was told very much that it was.
Not really.
Okay.
I'll explain it.
We'll talk about it.
So yeah, we also talk about movie news, box office numbers, what we've been watching, what's coming out on Blu-ray. We're a movie podcast, but we also do different things. Like I've been just wasting hours playing Mario Maker.
Is it awesome?
Oh man,
I've been wasting hours watching people online video themselves playing Mario Maker.
And I get so excited. So I've been working on some levels, and some of them I had are pretty fun. I made this castle one that I called Hammer It To Me. Okay. Where it's really hard. It's a really hard one.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the Mario Maker is they make you beat the level before you can upload it.
Right.
So you can't cheat.
So everybody knows that at least they can beat the level.
So, I mean, some of the levels are dumb, but whatever. So anyways, it's really difficult. It's a castle one. I have fireballs coming up. There's lots of Hammer Brothers.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's this one area where I have, the red shell Koopa Troopas going back and forth, and there's 4 Hammer Brothers jumping up and down.
Right.
And once you get past them, then there's a river of lava with fireballs coming up, and then there's little pillars, and each one has a Hammer Brother on it.
Ugh.
And then it's Baby Bowser who throws hammers. And it's pretty hard. I mean, I know it's hard.
Yeah.
And so I booted up my system today. I have like 16 stars from it, and people are saying, I got it on my first try. And so it's pretty cool, and that people really enjoy it. And they also tell you the stats.
Yeah.
And it's, mine's been played like 300 times.
Right.
And only 17 people have completed it.
That's cool.
Like, I know it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's cool, and I like that the community like really likes it. So I'm hoping that maybe one day when I'm just playing through it, it'll just randomly show up in my run through. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So yeah, right. And then I made a water one that's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But I make them difficult, but if you're a skilled Mario player, you can do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's parts like in my Bowser Castle one, I made just a little row of platform, and it's barely above the lava, but I put coins so you knew where to jump. And so I don't like the ones where people add all these weird effects to them, and they make it, you go through this door and then you die. You go through this door and you die. I don't like those ones. I like the ones where you're scrolling and it's a puzzle, but there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm old school Mario, so.
The guys over at giantbomb.com did what's that called? Exquisite Corpse thing, where they started streaming, and then they let their chat tell them what elements to add into the map. And surprisingly, not only was it playable, but it's kind of cool to watch people play it, but it's got some real jackass shit in there. Like, at the end of the level, when you get to the end, there's 2 tunnels, or there's 2 pipes. One of them goes and drops you directly into the finish. The other one drops you back at the beginning.
But see, that's okay though. Like, I was playing this one today, and every time you do something, the screen would go. I don't even know how to get those effects. Like, I've been looking. Yeah. That's people probably been playing it for hours and hours and hours, but, and then you die. Or you go through a door and you just drop and you die. I hate that stuff. Yeah. Because that's not skill. It's just like guessing.
Right.
So I'm more of, the skill, Mario person. So I'm hoping that my, Hammer It To Me, map will show up on the top ones pretty soon.
Do you know what the code is for it?
I do. I can give it to you if you want to play it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say you could just say the code and then people could read it, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, we can do it later.
But yeah, Mario Maker is so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
And then I like, cause I'm going through, what Mario do I want for this? Cause originally the Bowser Castle I did was in 8-bit Mario, and it was super hard. I mean, after I made it, it took me 10 guys just to get to the end. I was like, man, that might be too hard. So I switched it to New Super Mario Brothers, where Mario can slide down and kind of like recover from things.
Yeah.
And it made it easier. So I changed it to New Super Mario Brothers. Because the 8-bit one was
really hard.
It's really hard, but you know, maybe I'll upload that one sometime and I'll call it Remix or something.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody should get that game. That game is amazing. So, what do you want to do first, James?
Let's do some what we've been watching.
Cool.
Oh, we got movie side!
This is my boomstick!
I love being a turtle! You're getting your wishes, so sit down!
Great Scott! The line must be drawn here.
Damn you all to hell! And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Now you're getting nasty.
I watched a whole bunch of different things this week.
Yeah.
I was in a weird mood. I don't know. Every once in a while I decide I'm going to watch something different. So I'll start with a couple things. I watched Scream Queens, which is the Fox show from Ryan Murphy, who did Glee and American Horror Story.
Okay.
And it's basically Scream.
Okay.
But Jamie Lee Curtis stars in it, and it also has Emma Roberts.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty funny. And
I don't understand any of what you're saying.
yeah,
Is it
it's a show. It's a TV show.
It's like a scripted show.
It's a scripted show. So
Okay.
it takes place at a sorority, and there's
but it's funny.
there's a slasher.
Okay.
It's a slasher comedy in a sorority on network TV
Okay.
that has people. Most of the actors and actresses that are in it have been in some sort of horror film.
Right.
Obviously, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Emma Roberts is in American Horror Story.
Yeah, and she's also in Scream 4.
Oh, that's right.
So she plays this girl named Chanel, who is the leader of the sorority, and she's a total bitch. And nobody likes the sorority on campus, and so there's a dude killing them or a woman killing them. Who knows? But it's actually a pretty clever little show. It's more fun than American Horror Story. I don't like American Horror Story because I think it tries too hard to be, air quotes, scary.
Oh, yeah,
I just
no.
think it's stupid.
It's not scary. It's entertaining, or at least season 2 is entertaining because it is so off the wall. There's aliens in season 2.
Yeah.
That show was ridiculous.
Yeah, so, I mean, Laura watched The Freak Show last year.
I fell off on that season.
And I came in, and they used a lot of Dutch angles and stuff that just looks corny.
Oh, the whole thing is just schlocky as hell.
Where Scream Queens is supposed to be a B horror and funny, and so it actually works pretty well for the show. And
in season 3 of American Horror Story, they resurrect Kathy Bates, who was like a masochistic racist, and then I think they make her clean toilets. Like that's an actual thing in the plot. That show was ridiculous.
I know Laura's really excited for the next one because Lady Gaga's in it.
Oh, great! That'll really make it dumber.
So yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. They just had the first 2 episodes. I think it's only 8 or 10 episodes long. It might be longer, but I don't think so. But it's pretty fun. So if you're looking for something a little quirky and offbeat that deals with horror elements, it's pretty fun.
Cool.
I was at Tradesmart, and I love when they have Criterions available that are used. And
it's rare.
It's very
really
rare. And I think the cover for this was so cool. Have you seen the cover for Kiss Me Deadly?
No.
It's this noir film, and it's really notorious.
Oh yes, because you tweeted it. I did see it.
And he's like holding that chick's head, and he has a gun pointed to her. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like everything about that just screams film noir to me.
Yeah.
And so I got it, and I watched it. I got it, and I went home and I watched it immediately because I was just so entranced.
I need to figure out what this is.
I was so entranced with the cover because it's so provocative.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, and I was watching the menu because I'm like, oh, they have a bunch of movie stills. There's also a picture of it reversed where the dude is in the chair and the chick has a gun to his face. I'm like, but it's the same pose, but it's the girl.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this is awesome. So I watched it, and in it is if you wanted to pick a stereotypical 1950s film noir,
this is it.
This is it.
Cool.
So there's a private dick, and his name is Mike Hammer. Yep.
Oh, I love this.
So one day he's driving in his really cool, like, convertible.
Yeah.
At one night, but actually, I'm sorry, it opens with Cloris Leachman from 1955, so she's really young.
Right.
And she's running down the street barefoot.
Okay.
And so he's driving in his really cool car and picks her up, and he's too cool. He's not.
He is too cool.
He's, smoking, and it's like,
oh man.
And then the cops are looking for her because she escaped from a mental institution. and he says, no, he says something about him and his wife, so they let him go. But as he left, his car got hit, and he went and he got beat up, and he was dragged to this other room where he saw Cloris Leachman's character murdered. And the only thing you saw from the guy who murdered her is he was wearing a pinstripe suit with really nice shoes. And so every time those showed up on screen,
nobody in the 50s wore a pinstripe suit and really nice shoes.
Yeah. So every time he showed up on screen, you knew something bad was going to happen, and they only shot the shoes.
Yeah.
And so
the shoes of death.
Shoes of death. I don't really want to spoil this movie.
No.
Because it's really cool. But so basically, Hammer gets tied up in this really big plot where some things aren't what they seem. They killed his best friend, and he's trying to figure it out. And it has maybe the most unusual, shocking ending I've ever seen in a movie. In fact, it has nothing. It is so out of left field, you'll have no idea where this movie is going. And the ending for this movie was inspired the ending to your favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's
So let me ask you a quick question.
sure.
Or let me just hazard a guess. Does it end by them resurrecting Kathy Bates, who was a masochistic
Yes.
racist? Oh my goodness! Oh, how did I see that one coming?
Yeah, this movie is
Really?
really cool. It is a really cool movie. And if you like film noir or you like 50s gumshoe kind of movies, this is definitely it. And Mike Hammer, he's not a nice guy. Like, he's having an affair with his secretary.
Yeah.
He, towards the end when he's trying to get answers, he just goes into places and beats people up. And he's like, tell me what this is. And they go, okay. It's awesome. So yeah, if you want to see just a really cool 50s noir film, Kiss Me Deadly is pretty awesome.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun watching it. And
Is there ever a scene where like there's a woman in a chair and then he's the guy got a gun to her?
is there?
Oh, you son of a bitch!
I can't say the ending though. The
No,
ending
it's
is,
fair. No,
the
I
ending
know,
is
I
so
know, I know.
great. Because again, it's so unusual. I know you and you know what your favorite film is.
Right.
Only fans of this show will know what your favorite film
Yeah,
is.
it's the shot. You're talking about that shot, like the final shot.
No.
Oh, you're not talking about that shot.
No.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. There's an element to your favorite movie
Right.
that was lifted from this movie.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I'm gonna have to check it out now.
Yeah, I'll have to let you borrow it and you tell me what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched that. I also watched, my wife got Selma. So
Oh, okay.
I watched Selma.
Cool. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, there's not much I can say about it. I mean, it's basically Martin Luther King's organizing the march from Selma to Montgomery
Right.
to give African American citizens the right to vote.
Sure.
It's well acted.
It's a good idea, given African Americans the right to vote.
Yeah, right. It seems to have worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I think it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird when you see that though. That was only 50 years ago.
50. I mean, I'm only like 28, so 50
I know,
years
but
is
still,
a long time.
Yeah, it's not that long. And that's how bad we treated people.
Right.
The great performance. David Alawalawio.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's really good as
I'm
Martin
pretty
Luther
sure
King.
it's not like that.
It's pretty close. The one thing is, and my wife brought it up too when we were talking afterwards, is Oprah Winfrey is in it. She produced it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But she also plays a part in it, and it's hard now to watch Oprah play parts. Now because she's such a big media person.
Does she look like Oprah?
She does.
She doesn't look like her character in like in Color Purple. I don't see Oprah.
Either do I, but I mean, because it's so
She
long
looks
ago.
and because she looks like a person there.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like Oprah's, I don't know if she's had work done or what, or if she just wears a lot of makeup to,
Yeah.
She doesn't look real anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, she does a good job in her little part.
Sure.
But I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because everybody else, I wouldn't say they're no names, but
They're mostly unknown actors.
unknown actors, exactly. Because, I mean, obviously I know the lead actor because I watch movies all the time, but this was like his big break.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, to not pay short thrift to just the fact that, like, the reason that they're unknown actors is unfortunately because Hollywood's pretty racist and that black actors don't get cast very well. But that's beside the point.
Yeah. If I had one criticism of the film, is sometimes when you do these kind of stories, some of the dialogue is really hokey.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the dialogue from MLK or people like that, but it's the people that support him that always, does that make sense?
Yes.
It's saying, oh, he's going to make a difference.
Right.
And we know.
Right.
And, but there's some great scenes. Tom Wilkinson plays Lyndon Johnson, and they have a great interplay with that. I mean, it's not 100% historically accurate.
Sure.
But they're trying to add conflict to the story, and,
It's kind of like the difference between that and Lincoln, where in Lincoln, nobody ever tells Lincoln that he's going to, like, pull this off.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only person who believes he's going to pull it off, right? Like, so all the dialogue around it is not encouraging. It's not, hey, this is big and important.
Exactly.
Excuse me. It's more like, oh gosh, we can't do this. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, because there's a scene where Martin Luther King's wife, Coretta, meets Malcolm X, and she doesn't want him speaking in his church because the difference between Mr. King and Malcolm X is nonviolence and violence. And so they have this huge thing, and she goes and sees Martin. He's in jail in Selma, and she says he's trying to do good, and then she walks away from him, and his hands like reaching out to him, like, oh, come on, you don't need that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need to be so hokey.
Yeah, the events themselves are powerful enough.
Exactly, the event is really powerful, so you don't need the hokiness.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of glad that lady did not get Black Panther, the director.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't stage action very well. And it might be because of the budget.
Yeah.
But she was trying to do this.
Is there a lot of action? Does MLK like put on his ass kicking boots at one time?
That'd be sweet.
Hey, Malcolm X, let's go at it.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
No, there's a scene where they try to cross a bridge and the officers on the other side and they shoot gas at them, at the protesters. And so she's trying to shoot where, they're riding horses and they're coming through the fog and it's supposed to be scary and it just looks cheap. So it might have been the budget thing. I don't know. But you have Oprah. I can't imagine. I think Brad Pitt was one of the producers.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was a budget thing. I just don't think some people can direct action.
Yeah. They need to make a movie called Salem where Martin Luther King fights witches.
Oh.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Witch
Hunter? Yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, overall the movie's pretty good though. I mean, I can't really say anything bad about it. I mean,
yeah,
it's still well done. The actors are really great in it.
Cool.
There's not a weak part in the actors. And I watched one more thing. Why can't I remember? Oh, duh. The last thing I watched was Burying the X, which is a movie directed by Joe Dante. And I don't know the last time he's actually made a movie. I want to say,
I don't know.
It was a direct to Blu-ray movie called something. But anyways, in it, Anton Yelchin stars as a guy who has a girlfriend who is
dead
eventually.
Oh, okay.
But at the beginning, she's really attractive and looks really good. But she's one of those weird hippies where everything has to be recycled, everything needs to be clean energy, yada yada yada.
Sure.
So one day he works in this Halloween store. And she says, I want to be together forever. And there's a devil genie lamp. And it grants them that wish, unbeknownst to them. And so he's going to break up with her because she's going crazy. On the way to break up with her, she gets hit by a bus. And she dies. So he's pretty messed up on that. But he meets Alexandria Daddario, who is so beautiful.
Which one is she?
She works at this cool ice cream place called Ice Cream.
No, I mean, who's Alexandra Daddario?
She's, the new girl. So,
the actress. How do I know that name?
Oh, she's in San Andreas. She's in True Detective.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
She's really in True Detective. But she's
Texas Chainsaw.
Chainsaw. She's
beautiful.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, works at this.
She's extremely pronounced limbo rings.
Yes.
Look that up online. I'm right.
Yep. What? Anyways, she runs a ice cream place called Ice Cream, and it has like cool ice cream names, like Fruit Brute. Remember that cereal? Like she makes ice cream with that stuff, and like Dracula's.
I don't know Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute is the line of monster cereals, like Count Chocula.
Oh, okay.
It's one of them. It's the werewolf one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So she's the really cool, beautiful ice cream parlor girl.
Yeah.
So after his girlfriend dies and, he's kind of starting to get over her. She's been dead a long time.
Right.
She comes back as like a zombie kind of.
Right.
And so she comes back and she says, I said we'd be together. So she's like this zombie girlfriend.
Is she like real gruesome or is it like, okay, all right.
She's like starting to rot away. So every time you see her, there's like more flies around her and she looks more and more gross and
nasty.
So he's trying to date Alexandria and I don't forget her character's name.
Sure.
And they have these really cute moments and the movie's actually pretty funny and it's actually pretty well made. And I don't know why it didn't get a wider release. I kind of had fun watching it. And if you're looking for kind of a quirky, offbeat zombie movie, I've seen two this year: Life with Beth, or Life After Beth, which is Aubrey Plaza, and it's okay. It's not as good as this one. I think the one's actually more fun. So
cool.
It looks good. The cover's really cool for it. Bummer, no special features.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had fun.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. And Alexandra Daddario has really big boobs.
Is that it?
And that's all I watched this week.
All right, good. Cool. I've got a couple of things to go through. I watched, Dan and I have recently been talking about 13 Days for some reason.
That's cool.
So I got 13 Days on Blu-ray and watched it. I don't think I've seen it since I watched it on a plane once, like back when it came out. And then I don't think I've seen it since. And it's good. 13 Days is the story, of, the 13 days of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It stars Kevin Costner, and is written by, I looked it up earlier, and it was, the guy who ended up writing, Road to Perdition, was the next movie he wrote. And it's good. It's not as good as Apollo 13 or one of those, but it's in that same, it's that kind of movie,
it's a
right?
good movie.
And it's got a couple of sort of weird things about it. I don't think it builds suspense very well, which is sort of too bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of telling you the events of the story more than it is like making them engrossing, which is too bad. The other weird thing is that there are these sections, especially early on, they do it a lot, where there's like little bits of the movie that are in black and white. And I don't know why.
I haven't seen the movie in so long, I don't remember.
Yeah, like there's a couple moments, like at the very end, as the Kennedys are sort of walking away, it goes to black and white, and you hear actual JFK talking, like a bit of his speech. And that shot's kind of cool in black and white because the shadows are more pronounced, and the shadow of Greenwood, Brian Greenwood, is that his name? The guy who's in Star Trek. Sure. Anyway, we're
gonna stop this Cuban Missile Crisis.
his like silhouette looks very much like Kennedy in that shot, and so it's really kind of a neat shot. But there's earlier moments where they're just like walking to the Situation Room, and it's in black and white, and then as they walk in, like it fades to color, and not like a Pleasantville, like they're making a big deal out of it. It's just like suddenly the color pops in, and I don't know why. I thought what they were gonna do was that, like, as the movie went along and things got more intense, that it was going to become more black and white. I would love for someone to explain what they were thinking. Like if it was...
Is there no commentary or anything on it, on the disc?
There is, but I watched it today, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. And I don't know that I'm going to go back and like, I don't know that I'm that curious, but like I think I might be Wikipedia curious.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? There's just some weird choices in the movie like that. But it's pretty good. It's certainly worth checking out if you ever had. I feel like I worked too hard to get my hands on it. So if it were ever on Netflix, people should check it out for sure. The other thing was, last week I went and saw Black Mass, which is the movie starring Johnny Depp about Whitey Bulger.
And his contacts.
Yes, and his contact lenses, which are fucking atrocious. Like, whoever the makeup artist is, and hear my words. This movie's gonna win an Oscar for makeup. It probably is. And it's too bad because the makeup's shit. Like it's a movie obsessed with two things. It's obsessed with that that real cheap effect that they do in movies sometimes, where like they put this like real thin latex on your face, and then it dries and makes your face look like it's really old and wrinkly and stuff, right? So it gives everybody this look like there's more texture on their skin than a normal human being has. So it does that on every character. And then on Johnny Depp, who, everybody knows what Johnny Depp looks like, but you can put contact lenses in him and change the way he looks to some degree and it'll be fine. But these look like the cheapest contact lenses that I've ever seen in a movie. So that, the line around his pupils are always the same size, and that line is like a very sharp, like it goes from like this real light blue to just the black. And it just doesn't ever seem natural. By the way, the limbo ring is the dark outline of the outside of your, like the colored portion of your eye. Yeah, and so it causes like eyes to be extremely striking, and they've done scientific research to find like people with more, with stronger limbo rings are more attractive to other human beings. Anyway, it's why Zoe Deschanel is so pretty. So, anyway, Black Mass.
Is the movie good?
No, it's not great. So it starts off, it's pretty good. I'm like, all right, this seems interesting. It opens with like an interview where like an officer or an FBI agent is interviewing one of Whitey's, like one of his like blunt instrument kind of guys, you know. It's a guy, Jesse Plemons is the actor. He was in Breaking Bad and he was in Friday Night Lights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he's actually really good in this movie. He's sort of an enforcer kind of a guy. Like he starts off, you know, just watching the door, that guy, and then he beats a guy to death. And the FBI agent is like interviewing him and getting him to sort of turn over on Whitey. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like then he starts narrating the story we're seeing. So I was like, okay, cool. This movie's not really about Whitey. This movie's going to be about this character, but it's not, because there's a number of people like that where they'll cut back and this FBI agent will like ask them questions like, you know, so then you killed so-and-so. And the guy's like, yeah, I killed you know. And so what they're really doing is like showing you the aftermath of, you know, them trying to catch Whitey. The real problem with this movie is that it starts off and it starts to build all these little elements that are gonna, you think, eventually lead to like his downfall or his big weakness or like how he gets caught, whatever it is. But the way he gets caught is not set up really. There's really no motivation for him or what he's doing other than what's narrated to you. So, at one point, I'm going to spoil this to some degree, sort of, but it's also history. So at one point, his son dies, about a third of the way in the movie, and then they straight out, like, narrate, like, I mean, somebody is talking to this FBI agent and says, like, yeah, like, then after his son died, like, he was just a loose cannon, like, he just, you know, and I'm like, this is not a motivation.
Like a supervillain arc?
Yeah, like, watching Johnny Depp turn a table over because he's mad his son dies is not going to make me walk away from this movie and feel like this is great drama. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Like, when the movie's over, I don't know what I was supposed to get from this. I think that a lot of what would have been interesting is not in the movie. So they hint at little things, or the very last thing that happens. I mean, at the end of the movie, when things start to fall apart for him, he's a fugitive for 10 or 15 years, something like that. And that's the story that I think would be really interesting. Like, the story of catching Whitey Bulger actually sounds really interesting after seeing this movie. But the movie I saw was just a lot of, I mean, you easily could have remade this movie by going and cutting scenes exactly like it out of every other gangster movie you've ever seen and taped them together, because they would have been just as gruesome, just as, you know, well acted, and just as disjointed and pointless. There's a scene, about 2/3 of the way through, where all of a sudden this guy pops up and has sort of turned over on Whitey, and Johnny Depp's got him tied to a chair, and he's like, he's, you know, they've beat him up a bunch, and then he ends up like choking him to death with a rope. And that guy plays an integral role in Whitey getting caught. But we meet him in that room. Like, there is no real, like, there's no, A to B to C of his story. There's just sort of some relationships, and even those relationships don't really go anywhere. So I don't want to say totally disappointed, because it wasn't like I had real high hopes. But for a movie that I spent over 2 hours with, like, I feel like you got to be able to bring something together so that at least I walk out and go like, oh, okay, that was, you know, they were trying to say this. I just didn't care as much. Like, in this case, I don't know what they were trying to say.
Great, James. Laura wants me to take her to see that this week.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I told her that too. I was like, yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp is good in it. He is. He just doesn't have anything to do other than make his face look angry and comb his hair straight back. If the movie wins an Oscar for Best Acting, like, it just goes to show how stupid the Oscars are. Because there's nothing complex here. By comparison to something like Prisoners, which I consider like really great drama, this is entirely forgettable, is what the movie is. So, anyway, I mean, I didn't hate my time watching it. I just look back on it.
Better spent?
Yeah, I just looked, once it was over, I was like, I didn't actually get anything out of that. Like, you didn't give me anything. So that was too bad. And then I also watched, I don't know why this happened. I got home from work one day and ended up watching Dear White People, which was on Netflix.
Okay, I know. It took me a while to go through my card catalog and figure. A card catalog, kids, is what we used to do to find library books. To find out exactly.
Yeah, you whipped out your Dewey Decimal System, and So Dear White People is a movie starring Tessa Thompson, who was in Veronica Mars. Oh, and she's going to be in Creed. I don't know if you saw the new trailer for Creed.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it as much as the first trailer, but because the first trailer is cool because they don't tell you that Rocky's in the movie until the last 20 seconds.
That's okay because you already knew Rocky was in it.
So. True. So, and I just want to see Rocky movies. So, so Dear White People is the story of a college campus where they had previously had different sort of fraternity houses, and it used to be that you could have a fraternity house where there was this one where you had to be black to live in that fraternity house. And then the school decided that you couldn't do that anymore. So they started to break that up. Or they passed a rule saying that couldn't be, race couldn't be a restriction. And then Tessa Thompson plays this young woman who, she runs a radio show on the college campus called Dear White People, where she's basically just harassing white people for the racist or semi-racist things that they tend to do. But they're all mostly superficial, as racism tends to be. They're all mostly superficial things. Mm-hmm. There's a number of different characters in the movie, and I don't want to go into all of it. Honestly, because I don't know that I can. So here's where this guy's kind of rough. I think this movie's good. I enjoyed watching it. I have a hard time passing judgment on it because I honestly feel like I'm not smart enough to. Which is a weird thing to say. I think there's some really powerful moments in this movie. There are, there's this scene, Tessa Thompson's character, she's got a sort of black guy that he's not really her boyfriend, but he thinks he is or wants to be. And then there's this white guy who is clearly sort of her boyfriend. But she hides him because she is this, leader in the, I don't know how you want to say,
in the African American community?
Well, but it's not just that. It is this, extremist, angry African American community, right? They're just continually pissed. And so she kind of is hiding that. And there's this really great scene where she talks about, she runs into him near the end of the movie, and she talks about what it was like going to school when she was young and having her dad drop her off, and her dad was white, and the feeling of not wanting them to be seen together because she was thinking about how people saw her, mm-hmm. and why, and if people were seeing them together and going what is that man doing with that little black girl, and that speech that she gives is so great. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that I can't even say that seems really racist to me because I'm well, I get the point you're making. Mm-hmm. It's just, that's what I'm saying when I say I don't feel smart enough to really judge that level of it.
Gotcha.
I think it's certainly worth talking about. It's one of the more intelligent movies about race that I've seen in a while. It'd be interesting to watch this and then watch Selma and see which one of them I think is more intriguing.
Yeah.
Cause there's a lot of conversation in here that is very frank about, stereotypes and culture and that kind of thing. There's a guy with this big afro, who is a young gay black man, who's trying to write an article, and he doesn't fit into any of the groups. The white guys are picking on him. Everyone is picking on him because he's gay. And he's so the race thing doesn't even make any difference to him. And it's really interesting. I think that there's a lot of it that's over the top. There's a lot of it that's sort of eye rolling. Really, what is this world where everybody in this movie is some extreme of their archetype?
Is it written and directed by Spike Lee?
No. Justin Simeon, who, man, I looked him up back when I saw it. I can't remember what else he's done. I don't think it's a lot. Yeah. This is actually his first big film. But yeah, I think it's worth if that sounds interesting to you, or if you watch the trailer and you think like, oh, that seems funny, I think it's worth checking out. I don't know how I stumbled onto it, but yeah. So, and then do you want me to talk about Everest now?
It's part of the.
You want to do it later? Okay, cool. Yeah, then we'll do it later.
Cool.
Yeah, and so that's everything. Although I really want to mention this really quick. Have you ever heard of Juiced with O.J. Simpson?
The movie?
No. So this was a like 5 or 8 years ago. He had like a hidden camera TV show.
Nope.
Where O.J. Simpson would go around and do shit like pretend he was working at a drive-thru, and then he'd like take a bite out of your burger before he'd give it to you, and then he'd say, you've just been juiced.
I can't do this, you know.
You've been juiced. I'm O.J. Simpson.
I know you are.
You've been juiced. It's a TV show. What a gentleman, though.
And they did like a pilot episode of it. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's unbelievably unfunny, and I kid you not, the like tagline for the show is "Nobody is safe because the juice is loose."
Wow. Let's play off that he murdered people.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
It's pretty bad. Anyway, I heard about it. There was This American Life recently that I was listening to, and I was like, I have to go watch some of this.
I've never even heard of it.
It's so horrible. People should go check some of it out.
This is what's playing next week at your Alamo Drafthouse.
Let's go.
Are you boys a little old to be trick-or-treating?
Yeah, you're gonna love this one.
Oh, Millie!
It's a scream, baby.
I'm going to give the people what they want. Sensation, horror, shock. Send them out in the streets to tell their friends how wonderful it is to be scared to death.
These are godless times, Mrs. Snell. I'll drink to that.
Think about it. One day she snaps. But she realizes that teen suicide is up this year, and homicide is a much healthier therapeutic expression. They always want a quote.
Come on, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Arcade Fire's Reflector Tapes opens. It's that
looks
documentary.
weird.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
weird, but
I like them, but that looks weird.
yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it. So it's some direct documentary of them doing something.
Yeah.
The craft dinner is Beer Fest with Warsteiner.
Warsteiner.
Yep. The Usual Suspects is also playing.
Dude.
Attack on Titan, the movie, part 1.
Oh, the anime thing, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the live action one. I guess it's
Oh,
supposed
what?
to be. Yeah,
They're doing like a live action?
there is a live action one. Yeah.
Oh.
I know one of my friends is really interested.
Huh.
Fantastique is The Crow in 35mm,
Cool.
which I recently picked up on Blu-ray to see again. I haven't seen it in years for my good old comic book movie thing.
Yeah.
And of course, the big thing there next week is Mile High Horror Film Festival. Is going to be all weekend long.
Yeah.
So busy week at the old Alamo Drafthouse. Purchase tickets online at alamodrafthouse.com/Denver.
It's too bad that I forgot to mention this last week, and by the time you hear this, it'll be over. They're showing LA Confidential, and they got James Ellroy out for the show. I guess he's going to do like a series, is what I've been told. He's going to do a number of little projects there.
And you're going to it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the LA Confidential tonight.
That's so weird that you're going to go see an author.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that you're not usually doing.
And then they've also got tickets on sale already for Cabin in the Woods, which is showing for on the 30th. So as
Nice.
like a Halloween thing. So be sure to check that out.
Oh yeah, Cabin in
They're
the
showing-
Woods.
They're showing
Awesome.
Antichrist that night as well, which I don't want anyone to see Antichrist, but of course I've never seen it, but I've just heard about and seen little bits
I don't even know. What is it? I don't even know.
Oh, it's a Lars von Trier movie where like, all I know is that like at one point Willem Dafoe does some like some masochistic, like, self-mutilation shit, and there's a shot that I've seen of a fox eating itself. Lars von Trier is a crazy man.
Yep.
Who makes very depressing films.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
And also, Open Screen Night is going to be coming up soon. You can buy tickets right now online. I've seen them for sale.
Yeah, first week of October, I think.
First week of October. So,
or the second.
And our good buddy Zach Eastman just finished his last film that I watched this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to. Yeah, I got the message, but I've been out.
Yeah, you should watch it. It deals with podcasting.
Ooh, all right, cool.
And
to check that out.
Of course, Zach doesn't make happy movies, so
shit.
That's my challenge to Zach Eastman. Zach, I want you to make a spoof or something.
Yeah.
Make something totally silly.
He needs to make his 1941.
Yeah, make 1941. You've done all your accolades.
Right.
Got all your accolades.
You've made enough Schindler's Lists at this point. Like, please.
Yeah, make a movie that most people don't like.
At the very least, The Terminal. Like.
Oh, I love The Terminal.
Right, but it is also funny. Yeah.
So yeah, Zach, that's my next challenge for you, is make a lighthearted film.
Yeah. I think that's the closest to comedy that he's gotten back to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing with Spielberg, always has comedy in his stuff.
Oh yeah. But that one's the closest.
So yeah, make sure, obviously that film is not available to see yet, but it will make its debut at Open Screen Night in Denver.
We're special, but you're not. So you have to go to the Open Screen Night.
We are press, so
if you want to be special, you will be there that night to see it before anybody else.
Yes. Cool. This is the movie news.
In other news, the Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
It's the ghost of Stonewall Jackson! Everyone, it's the ghost of Stonewall Jackson!
I do the cha-cha. I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties.
James, are you excited for the new name of Prometheus 2?
So no, but for like a selfish reason. So the name, the news is that he's planning on making more than just one Prometheus sequel. And that they're changing the name of Prometheus 2 to Alien Paradise Lost, which makes a lot of sense because since most people hate Prometheus because they're dumb, you've got to kind of get away from the name. But at the same time, and like reintroduce the idea that like, hey, there's going to be like aliens in these movies. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Paradise Lost to me is it's a little overwrought. Like it's been done before. Like,
but maybe, when, Numi Rapace and fuck, I can't even think right now.
Yeah.
When Michael Fassbender makes it to
when Girl with Robot Head
makes it to where the engineers are, maybe that's the paradise that's been lost.
Oh, I'm expecting exactly that.
So,
and that seems pretty cool. I mean, that's what I want. What I want is this movie to start with her flying a spaceship and she's got a robot head, and they're like, playing cards and like she's teaching him to play like how to tell jokes. At one point, maybe they dance in like the living room, and then like he goes out on the back porch and he like falls off the porch and like, and there's like butterflies and he accidentally kills a grasshopper. Oh shit, no, that's Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see Short Circuit.
I want to see another cool looking sci-fi film from Ridley Scott.
Me too. Yeah.
And hopefully he makes his Prometheus is really fast. What is he, like almost 80? Gosh.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he looks great.
You're also going to get Martian next week.
Yep.
So it's not like you're going to have to wait that long for him to make another sci-fi film. But yeah, Peter Parker is going to be 15 years old.
Yeah, saw that.
That seems
That's
cool.
fine, yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's always like 18.
Yeah.
So in this case, he's just slightly younger.
Yeah.
He can't drive.
Yeah. And I read Kevin Feige, or maybe it was the director, John Watts. They said that this one in Civil War, he's been Spider-Man for a year.
Cool.
And so for the Spectacular Spider-Man, that's what I'm going to call it.
Right.
He's going to be Spider-Man for another year. So basically, he's only been Spider-Man for 2 years by the time he shows up. So it
That's
makes
cool.
sense. Yeah.
So that means that he became Spider-Man when he was 14?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Yeah, freshman
that's cool.
in high school.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. That would make for that's the story I want to see.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I still think, the Spider-Man cartoon that they're producing at the same time, I think it's going to be an Ultimate Spider-Man. I think they're going to put Miles in it. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, probably.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention was that I watched the first episode of the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon show.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah. They're doing there's a season 0 sort of thing where there's like little vignettes of each character.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen the one about Peter Quill. But it both is and isn't tied to the movie. So like a lot of the set design stuff, like the design of it looks like the movie, but there's stuff that they say where I'm like, oh, well, these characters have clearly not been through the exact same events, So anyway, that's pretty good. And then the only other thing that I've got is that they're releasing a Ultimate Edition of all of the Star Wars soundtracks I don't remember when, but it's in this really cool little case. I'm gonna probably buy that.
Cool.
Even though I've owned all of those soundtracks my whole
why
life,
not,
but this one looks cool.
But
yeah, I didn't see much other news.
Yeah, not much going on this week. I'm trying to think.
There's a lot of like trailer releases and stuff like that.
There's
but
trailer releases. Yeah, nothing much going on. A lot of stuff filming right now, I think.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of, this is what they do when they're standing around. And there's camera people around.
Yeah.
That's
all I got.
Cool. This is the box office prediction segment.
Show me the money! He's the largest black man!
So next week is Martian, right?
Yeah, the Martian. I think I'm going to win. I think right now they're pegging Hotel Transylvania 2 for $48 million, which would be a September record.
Wow.
So yeah,
man.
I think I said $47 million, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So when I was the only reason I said that high is because we even said it on the show. There's been really no kid movies,
right,
for a long time,
right,
and so it's the first one of the fall, and there's not another one I think until The Good Dinosaur and Peanuts come out. So this one might have some legs.
Yeah, probably.
So Maze Runner won last week, to no one's surprise.
Yeah.
38 million, 36?
No, just 30.
Just 30. Who?
Yeah.
Black Mass, which you saw.
Which is not good.
No. The big news though last week is Sicario made tons of money in 6 theaters.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
And I was reading an article today that it's only in 50 theaters or 58 or something like that this week, and it's going to be in the top 10. So, with almost $2 million in 50 theaters. So, I'm guessing people are really digging that film.
And I want to see it.
Yeah, but next week is The Martian and Sicario goes wide.
Right.
So,
but we're predicting this week.
Yeah, so it's Martian and Sicario.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So, man, The Martian's getting really good reviews right now. So, and I think it looks interesting, and I think anytime you have some sort of survival movie and you're dealing with space and it looks cool, I'm going to say $32 million for The Martian.
Oh, that's low.
And $27 million
wow.
for Sicario. No, I mean 27 for Hotel Transylvania 2, and then I'm due $22 million for Sicario. So those are my 3 movies.
Man, I'm gonna say closer to. I'm gonna say 40 for Martian.
Wow, that's high.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 18 for Sicario. And Hotel Transylvania.
You don't have to. I mean, it's the second week. I just bumped them together because I'm sure it's going to be the number 2 movies.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. But yeah. Yeah, I think The Martian's going to do really well.
Yeah. In Sicario is a wild card because it's rated R, and I heard it's pretty, hardcore. But I think because it's generating so much buzz.
I think there are a lot of people out there who are hungry to go see a movie and are wishing that there were something good to go see.
Yeah.
I in fact know that that's true because like I've got people coming to me like, I want to go see something this weekend. What am I supposed to go see? And I'm like,
well, we saw Turbo Kid and Cooties. Not that they're bad films. I'm just saying that we had to dig to find movies to see those last couple weeks. So.
Yeah, no, the last 4 to 6 weeks have been real dry.
They've been brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah,
October is the opposite of that.
Yeah, because that's when awards movies start coming out.
It's getting good.
Because we also have Bridge of Spies coming out.
Yeah, there really are. There's like 2 movies a week in October that I want to see. It sucks.
It does.
In a good way.
Not only do movies come out in theaters, movies also come out on Blu-ray.
In my house.
So what's coming out on Blu-ray? And I think you have a couple DVDs this week.
I got a bunch of shit.
When did you move in?
About 5 years ago. By the power of Grayskull. Point Break or Bad Boys 2?
Which one do you think I'll prefer?
No, I mean, which one do you want to watch first?
You are pulling my leg.
All right, so this is the week of superhero films on Blu-ray, and the big one is coming out. The big one, this year's main superhero release, Agents of Power, POWER.
But a period after each one, so it's an acronym for something.
That's true. What is it? I'm pretty sure this is pseudo porn. We talked about this before.
I think so. It looks like it's something that Cinemax would have on at 2:00 in the morning.
It's called the tagline is just a secret identity film. Look at that. Look at it.
I know.
That's what it says. It says it's the Marvin Davis said the movie's cheesy and ridiculous.
And who the fuck is Marvin Davis?
I don't know. He's just some dude who made the movie, probably. No. The real story, Avengers: Age of Ultron is coming out on Blu-ray this week.
I know. I have the 3D version coming out because, again, I said if I've been telling you if I think the movie is like one of those, I'm gonna get it on 3D too because eventually maybe I'll have one. I don't, and if I don't, my in-laws have a 4K 3D TV, and I'll just go watch it over there.
Yeah.
But I was looking.
And the cases are cool too.
Yeah, but I think the 3D one's not red.
Oh no.
Yeah. The standard version is red.
Yeah. It's not. Or at least on Amazon it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
that makes me sad. Oh well.
Sucks to be you then.
But I think the cover art's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I want to see that movie again. All right, so Outlander season 1, volume 2. I've
never seen it.
It's some kind of show. I don't know. I keep meaning to check it out, but I haven't yet. Spy. Did you guys see Spy?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that bad?
No, it was pretty funny.
Okay.
But the thing is, look how much it is. There has to be something wrong.
Yeah, they're still saying that the Blu-ray is
$45, right? Something's not right.
They have not priced that right yet. So don't pre-order it yet, but I'm sure that a time will come when you can. Maybe there's something, maybe it comes with maybe there's gold in it.
Maybe.
Sometimes,
or has a personal message from Jason Statham.
Sometimes they do that.
Yeah. Jason Statham. Thanks for buying Spy.
He calls you on the phone and leaves you a voicemail if you buy the Blu-ray.
Hi, this is Jason Statham. I really appreciate you supporting my movie Spy.
I'm so glad you didn't buy Entourage the movie.
Yeah, that comes out too.
Which also comes out this week. So all the Entourage fans will finally get to just rest and go home. Poltergeist is coming out, the remake. Did you ever see that?
I did. But look at that. Something's wrong with Amazon because look at it for that on Amazon. It doesn't even have a price.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yep.
Amazon, get on it. What's wrong with you? This case looks kind of cool though.
Yeah, the case is awesome.
That picture on the front is creepy. So, Cop Car, which you guys also saw.
I saw it by myself.
Oh, that's right. Was it good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was off that week.
You can see why John Watts got picked to direct Spider-Man. He's really cool.
Yeah. There's a little movie called Unexpected that I didn't know had come out, but I had seen a trailer for, and it's got Colby Smulders in it, and I really wanted to see it, so I'm gonna check that out.
Cool.
Because it seemed cool.
She's pretty.
Yeah. I don't know what this is, but I just have to point out that there's a Persona 4 animation collector's edition.
Video game?
I think it's just maybe the cutscenes, or maybe is there a cartoon? Is there a show of Persona 4 as well?
I know the set's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks really cool. If you don't know, Persona 4 is a video game about kids who are getting murdered and they jump inside of televisions in order to solve a mystery.
Yep.
It's a pretty crazy thing. So the set just looks cool. I was surprised to find out that season 4 of Grimm is coming out this week
because there's a season 4.
Right. I was like, what the hell is? Well, I didn't know this was still a show. And then we get into a whole lot of horror movies.
Yes.
So hold on to your butts, everybody. There is a Blu-ray release of Christine, John Carpenter's Christine.
Killer Car.
Yep. But moving on from that, The Mutilator.
Dude, I think I'm gonna get that. I just love the name. I have never seen it, and it's a slasher film. But it's what's the tagline? By sword, by pick,
by axe,
by the Mutilator. And I love that there's a slash and blood pouring from.
Yeah, like the text just has like a line of blood underneath it pouring down. And just a bunch
some
of
girl
kids
in a bikini who's scared, and everybody else is hung by hooks and dead.
I don't know if they're dead yet. I think they're all just like looking at the hook, like, oh no, he's got us up on this hook.
The Mutilator.
What I appreciate about this cover is that the artist who drew it really pays attention to detail, because everybody else, like the three other kids or whatever, are hung, like their shirt is nailed to the wall, and so they're hanging from the wall. But the sexy lady in the bikini, she of course, like, she doesn't have a shirt, right?
Yeah.
So he made sure that there's a rope around her, like under her arms, that is like hung from the wall, right? So that way she can both be in a bikini and be hung from the wall, but not be like, totally uncomfortable. So I appreciate his attention to detail on that one. So The Mutilator, what's the name of that company?
Arrow.
Arrow, yeah. All right. So then there's a movie called Deadly Prey, which has
some dude praying.
No, I think he's a military dude. He's like
Prey.
Yeah, this is more like right. No, his stance is like a platoon-esque, like, got my hands in the air, like
no.
Yeah, he's very Rambo-esque right now. Okay, the tagline here is, in Vietnam, he was the best, ellipses. He still is.
With the American flag in the back.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty cool looking. So I don't know who made that, but anyway, whatever. All right. The next one is a movie called Killer Workout. So this is this looks like it's a new company called Slasher 2 Video, like the number 2, that is now doing the same sort of thing. Who knows whether or not their collections are as good, but look, they're putting all these like little stickers and stuff on the cover. I guess maybe to make it look like the old VHS tapes.
Yeah. That's pretty creative.
Okay. But yeah, this one doesn't have a cool tagline. It's just a
Jane Fonda looking lady.
Yeah, it's a woman doing aerobics in like 80s workout gear, and then there's like a bloody hand smeared across the poster.
Ooh.
So all right, that one. All right, let's move on to the next one. How about Shock 'em Dead, which is also a Slasher 2 video, with Tracy Lords. So this one might be porn too.
Nice.
That poster's not as cool, but the title's kind of cool. Blood Rage, which is an Arrow release. This appears to be a movie about a very, very, very tall man with a machete breaking into a drive-in movie theater.
Cool.
Cause it's a guy with a machete busting through a like drive-in movie theater screen, and then the word Blood Rage. So who knows what that movie is? He's got a sick ass mullet though. That's pretty good. Then is this the last one? No, there's 2 more. Savage Weekend. That's it. That's all that Savage. It's the Grim Reaper.
Man. So guess what the name for a Killer Workout originally is?
What?
Aerobicide.
Oh, that's so much better.
Arguably the cheesiest of all slashers.
No. Aerobicide. Is it a movie like? Is everybody doing aerobics, but then like somebody moves a knife into place so that when they take their step and lunge, they stab themselves?
If you're interested in what this movie is about,
desperately,
there's a quote in here that says, "Quit showing off your little tits and your tight little ass." So there's
That's
that.
horrible.
I wish it was still Aerobicide.
Aerobicide's a way better title.
CIDE, like killing.
Right. Oh no, I get it. I picked up what you were putting down. I did.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot some. Rhonda Johnson says, "Just teach the class and stop showing off your tits and your tight little ass."
Wow.
Yep.
Is this just a movie where like judgmental people berate young women for working out?
Let me give you the plot.
Please.
2 years ago, a young woman named...
Wait. Let me set the mood. Okay, go ahead.
2 years ago, a young woman named Valerie was burned after entering a tanning salon. Now her twin sister Rhonda runs a local gym where all of a sudden, people are being murdered. I wanna get physical.
Oh, man.
It's 4.8 out of 10 with 638 reviews.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
It's surprisingly high for a movie originally titled Aerobicide.
What's the other one?
Savage Weekend, which this one from the text looks like it might be an actual Scream Factory release, but I can't tell. The tagline here is, "You have been chosen. You are doomed. Prepare yourself for Savage Weekend." It's pretty lame.
Very.
I don't care for that one at all. Not anywhere near as cool as Cinco de Mayo from Slasher 2 Video, which is just a cool.
Yeah, the cover's cool.
Yeah, I like.
It's probably one of those movies that was cashing in on Friday the 13th or something.
Probably, yeah. It's just like the fact that they didn't like it. There is no trick to the title. It's just Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it could easily be like a National Geographic documentary.
Yep.
But this one is clear. I forgot to mention Cinco de Mayo written in blood. So that's how you know it's a horror
it's dripping
movie.
blood, dude.
Right. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. There's an excess of blood in the lettering. So, anyway, that is the Blu-ray releases for this week.
Cool.
Sheesh.
So we saw 2 movies this week.
We did.
So James, you go first.
Okay.
James, should people go see Everest?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, here's a trailer for Everest.
Cool.
You, my friends, are following in the very footsteps of history. Something beyond the power of words to describe. Human beings simply aren't built to function at the cruising altitude of a 747. Our bodies will be literally dying. Everest is another beast altogether.
How you doing? I'm back.
Doug Hansen.
What do you do when you're not climbing, Doug?
I deliver the mail.
First mailman on Everest?
Hope so.
I like that.
Sit down, man. Climatize.
How's the weather?
It's good.
I wish I was with you.
One day, you, me, and that little Sarah will all go climbing together.
So today's the day, huh?
It hurts. It's dangerous. Why? I have kids. They see a regular guy can follow impossible dreams. Maybe they'll do the same.
I'm on the top of Everest, Alan. We made it.
Go to Rob. There is a massive storm headed your way.
Oh, no.
Come on! Get up! That's the wrong way! Doug, let's go! Hurry up!
Rob, can you hear me? You've got to get moving. You've got to come on down.
There's no oxygen. You go. I'm done. No, I'm not leaving you behind. Come on.
It's gonna take all we got.
We're all getting down together. Now let's go.
If anyone can make it, you can.
James, what's Everest about?
Okay, so Everest is the story of a group of guys, basically back in the 90s or early 90s. A guy started a company where he was going to start leading people up Everest, right? So you pay him and he'll make sure you get up Everest and back alive. And so it's 1996, I believe, is the year. And there's a number of things going on. One, there's more people there than there have ever been at the base of Mount Everest to go up this mountain.
This is a true story, right?
Yeah, it's based on a true story. He's also got author John Krakauer, who wrote Into the Wild, is also going with them, partially to write about this company, but also to climb Mount Everest. He's got a number of other people there who have a lot of experience climbing mountains, some of whom have climbed K2 and some of the other, K2 is arguably harder to climb than Everest is. And they, basically it tells the story of them trying to go up the mountain and what happens. Rob, who's the main character, he's got a pregnant wife at home, and you get to meet some of the other family members and learn about why they're going up the mountain. There's probably about an hour and 20 minutes maybe, or at least an hour before they even actually attempt the summit of the mountain. There's a lot of sort of meeting these people, learning who they are, getting to like the characters.
So there's character development.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of it. And I mean, going in, the story here is that a storm comes in, it gets real bad, and they have to try and make their way back down.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in this movie, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal's in the movie.
Because he's last credited, and you don't see him in any of the ads.
He plays, he doesn't,
Does he die really early?
No, so he plays, not competing, but he plays one of the other, group leaders.
I can make it to the top before you. He's an evil Frenchman.
No. There's a Swedish dude who is that character, who's like, I've climbed Everest 3 times, never with oxygen. I will never climb Everest with oxygen. You're like, okay, all right, I get it.
He's tough, bro.
He's a tough guy, yeah. So Jake Gyllenhaal plays the, one of the other guys running a group, and they end up grouping together because there's so many people climbing the mountain that they're like, look, if we don't coordinate, there's one scene in the movie, because the way that climbing Everest works is that you start at base camp and it takes you 40 days to get up there, because what happens is every day you do a section. You go and you come back, and you go and you come back, and every day you go a little bit further and you come back. And then eventually you get to base 2, and you go and you come back, and you go and you come back, and you keep coming back to base 2. And it's all just to acclimatize yourself. But in the early section, you have to go through one of the toughest sections, which is where all the big, ice section, all the glacial ice is, which is where all the crevices you can fall down, and the walking on ladders and all the stuff that you think of when you think about climbing Everest. That's where all of that stuff happens. And in this year, there were so many people climbing it. There's this scene where Josh Brolin, who plays this guy from Texas who's climbed a bunch of mountains. His wife is Robin Wright in the film. He actually gets mad at Rob because he's like, look, I paid to get up this mountain, and we're standing here in a line to cross this ladder because there's so many people trying to climb the mountain at this specific time, because you have a very small window where the weather is going to be good enough that you can get to the top. So everybody, there's 20 groups there that year, and they're all shooting for May 10th to summit Mount Everest. And the reason he's complaining is that they're there so long that their hands start to freeze, they're not moving, so they're not staying warm. The longer that they wait there, the less they get done. Mm-hmm. So they just start to set up a lot of the sort of problems that are starting to come up. They do a good job of giving you some stakes as well, in the fact that this is the guy's business, right? He has commercialized getting people up Mount Everest, and there is something of a question to that. Is should that be somebody's job, right? The guy I was talking about before who said, no, I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal who at one point says, I don't take anybody up the mountain who I don't believe could just make it on their own. Right? Which is not how Rob feels. Rob feels he's there to try and make sure that people are safe climbing up this mountain, and that's sort of his job. And they don't condemn one or the other. But the movie certainly does raise the question and not answer it about whether or not what this guy is doing is actually very safe or ethical, for that matter. There's also a guy who, he's a He is a like high school teacher, and he's going up because he wants to inspire these kids that he can do anything, and he's tried before and has failed. And eventually they get up, they try to summit Everest, a storm comes in and it gets real bad. Yes, you start to lose some people, in some really chilling ways. Specifically, there is one, like the first time somebody dies, they've talked a lot about like, when you get up to that altitude, your body just starts dying. And that the whole effort here is to get up the mountain and back down before your body dies. Because there's not enough oxygen, even though they have gas masks with oxygen in them, there's still not enough. You're so out of energy. There's a number of things that can happen where like your brain will convince itself that it's excruciatingly hot. And so people every now and then have died by I forget what the syndrome is called, but they'll take all of their clothes off and just freeze to death. Because their brain has tricked them into thinking that they're really hot. When they're actually just freezing cold. The first guy who dies though, it's just this chilling shot of, Rob tells him to stay where he is, and he doesn't. And he sort of he quietly stumbles and falls in the background and just disappears. And it is the most disturbing image probably in the movie. I think that the story they tell is really good. There's some really sort of uplifting parts of it. There's also some not. There were a couple scenes in the movie where there's a lot of like, where I could just tell like, oh, there's hardly a dry eye in this movie right now. And some of it is absolutely manipulative. Anytime that you have a movie like this where you know people are going to die, you've got people setting up, oh, this is this person's wife. And it's true to life. So Rob went up that mountain and his wife was pregnant at home. So whatever tension that they build about the fact that like he may or may not make it back down that mountain to meet his daughter, like it's what really happened. So it's not like they're being overly manipulative, but at the same time they're including that because they want it to be emotional. But they do a really good job of making it feel very real, of making all the characters feel very grounded. Where in a lot of movies like this, you end up just sort of going like I always think of Perfect Storm, right? Which is a movie where I don't give a shit about any of these people. Yeah. They go out and they make really dumb decisions. And yes, you could take a step back and go, look, some of these people die by trying to climb the largest mountain on Earth, right? What are they really getting out of that? Are they getting anything,
Yeah.
Isn't it like the guys who were just trying to catch fish, isn't it better that they did that than, these guys? This movie does a really good job of making you feel like there is something worthwhile here. Some of the people who die, some of the people who don't, they give them really good justifications. Josh Brolin's got some really great moments where he kind of just says like, if I'm not out climbing a mountain, I'm depressed. Like when I'm out here, yes, I've got a family at home, I've got 2 kids, but when I'm there, there's this dark cloud always chasing me. And if I'm out here, I'm happy. And he's convincing enough that you kind of forgive him for the fact that he's about to do something really dangerous and stupid. I think that they do a really good job with it. I think the weird thing, I know why you say that about the Roland Emmerich stuff. Because there are a couple of shots that are CG shots that I feel like, oh man, like I can tell. One of them is the storm coming in, but that's because I don't know how you replicate that.
You can't.
Right?
No, I don't care about stuff.
No, and I know, but what I do care about is that I feel like there's a couple of shots where I think it's just environmental shots. I don't think there's anything terribly special about it, but it might be CG.
I did read that
it looks too clean.
Well, I did read that they shot not on Everest, but another mountain for most of the movie, and it was really hard.
For most of the movie, it looks great. There's just every now and then there's a shot, which is too bad because there's also there's a shot with a helicopter. It's one of the most badass scenes in the movie, which I'm going to slightly spoil. But I'm trying not to spoil too much because some people will listen through to this, but, there is this shot where they try to get a helicopter up to rescue somebody. And at that altitude, the blades won't spin. There's not enough oxygen for a helicopter to fly. and he just barely, they tear the doors off. They tore
like The Rock did in San Andreas.
Yeah. So they take the doors off the helicopter. They take the pads out. They only have one pilot, and he just barely makes it up to this ledge. But then to leave, the guy he's saving, he gets him in there and he's like, look, I'm going to push us off the edge. You don't quite understand what he's saying, but he's like, I'm going to push us off the edge. Are you okay with that? And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then you realize what he means. And what he means is he just turns the helicopter around and there's a cliff behind him, and he just moves the helicopter forward just enough that the helicopter just drops and then just basically is shooting straight downward, and he's like avoiding the cracks of the mountain to try and get to a low enough altitude that he has enough oxygen for the blades to spin. And you're like, it's so cool. It's like, you know, fighting sharks in Kon-Tiki. Like, it's that moment where, like, here's some people doing crazy ass shit to try and survive against nature. I think it's a cool movie. Will it end up as my top 10? No, it won't. They do a good job, but they never quite got me. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a movie made for me. Like, the trailers before this movie were like Creed and In the Heart of the Sea. What was the other one? There was one other, the third trailer was like, they were all those movies. They were all James movies, you know? It's like, here's some people against all odds trying to survive. Yeah, humans. And this one just never quite gets that last punch in. They try really hard, but I end up walking away kind of going like, yeah, that was good, but it wasn't inspiring in the way that I would want it to be. So still definitely worth checking out. It's a cool movie. But not like the best movie, you know. Actually, I can just say not as good as the IMAX documentary, which was filmed at the exact same time.
Oh, okay.
So the thing I didn't realize at the time going in was that this was also, if you've seen the IMAX documentary they did back in the 90s, there's a moment where they talk about this other crew going up and they run into a storm and some of them die, some of whom were like helping out or friends with the people making the documentary. It's the same story. They even at one point, like, you hear them on the radio saying that some of the people are getting helped down by the IMAX crew. So it's pretty interesting. That documentary is better than this though. So anyway, that's Everest.
Cool.
Ryan, you went and saw, The Green Inferno this week. Should people go see The Green Inferno?
So this is one of these movies where I have to put an asterisk next to it.
Right.
Because if you like horror films and you like gore movies, then yeah, you should definitely see The Green Inferno. However, if you're squeamish, you don't like horror films, you don't like kind of humor that shouldn't be funny,
sure,
then you shouldn't see this movie. It's kind of subversive. You know,
me.
Yeah, so James should not see The Green Inferno. But as far as you said, is it torture porn? I don't think it's really torture porn. In the literal sense. Here's a trailer for Green Inferno.
Okay.
Dangerous. We can't just go invade a country because they're doing something that we think is immoral.
I know. I just think I should be doing something about the rainforest.
It's time to make a difference.
Why are they doing this? What are they gonna do to us?
We have to get out of here.
You know what this is? You know what they're doing to us?
So the Green Inferno tells a story of college activists who go to the Amazon to stop the destruction of the rainforest. And on their way, after they do a good job of stopping them tearing down the Amazon.
They succeed, huh?
Yeah.
They stop all of humanity from tearing down the rainforest?
I'll elaborate a little bit after I give you a little overview of this.
Okay, good.
So as they're leaving, their plane crashes.
Okay.
When their plane crashes and people die horribly.
Does their plane crash in the rainforest?
It does.
Does it hurt any of the rainforest?
It does.
Those assholes. What are they doing?
So some people die horrifically in this plane crash.
And some trees.
And trees. And then as the survivors are getting out of the the plane crash, they are kidnapped by a native tribe in the Amazon that happen to be cannibals.
Sure.
So they are all systematically eaten.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean that's basically the premise of the movie is they get captured and then they have to find a way to escape. Basically, is how the film unfolds. This movie is really funny because let me explain. So
please do.
At the beginning, Eli Roth, have you seen Cabin Fever or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
He has a really weird sense of humor.
I know.
So at the beginning, I thought it was just like bad acting, but as I was watching, I'm like, this acting is actually so good that it seems like it's bad, where it's my biggest problem with college students is they think they can make a difference. You know what I mean? They think they can make a difference. And so this guy, I can't remember his name. The leader of the activist group is called ACT. And and their slogan is don't say act. And so all these guys are say like the lead actress Justine, she's actually really good in this film.
Yeah.
But they keep on like goading her into doing this. And it's like, why do they want this girl to be in it so bad? It turns out her dad is a lawyer for the UN. So if they get her to go to the Amazon and they film it, then, you can't do anything to her because the UN, it gets everybody involved and it makes a difference in the world.
Sure.
And so, but the college kids act like they're more important than they are. And it seems like it's just really bad acting. But then I was thinking, no, actually this is pretty accurate for 19-year-olds who think that they know everything.
Right.
And, it starts off as they're doing this, people are going on a hunger strike till the janitors get health care. And it just seems the kind of stupid stuff that are on campuses all the time. And then as I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm getting the tone of the movie really early.
Sure.
And the kids, and they trick this Justine because she comes from a wealthy family that she needs to make a difference. And so that's why she goes out there. She's the one who wants to make the difference.
Sure.
And before they leave, she's in a class and they're talking about different cultures and the horrible practice of female genital mutilation, also known as female circumcision, which isn't right. But it's so they talk about it, and so she raises her hand and says, "Why doesn't anybody do anything about it?" And it's kind of this weird, like you're kind of watching these rich white kids trying to say what happens in other cultures and that they think they can make a difference.
Right.
And so by the time they get to the Amazon and they're trying to shut down these bulldozers that's run by this militia, the leader of the group purposely gives Justine, whose father is the UN, the lead actress, they give her a lock that won't lock. So they pull her out and they're going to shoot her on live TV. And then they end up not doing it. And so she's, she learns that she's just being used. You're saying, you're using me because of who my dad is, and they could have killed me, blah, 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 blah. And the head guy says, but you knew the risk, and you know what? I used you. It doesn't matter. So he's the douchebag guy.
Okay.
So when the plane crashes,
he gets eaten first?
No. He does not get eaten.
Oh.
But yeah, there's some, like, again, it's Eli Roth, so he always has this weird sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he does it on purpose, where he tries to get you into a lull, and then he does something really shocking.
No.
So the first guy, I mean, it takes a long time to get there. I think it takes about an hour to get to where the cannibals show up.
Yeah.
And when they do, they eat the nice fat guy first. So he gets his eyeballs ripped out, then he gets his tongue cut out, then he gets sawed in half, and then he gets cooked, and then everybody's eating it like it's no big deal for this tribe. And, you know, the other kids are kept in this pen that they kept their pigs in, and they're just basically being systematically taken out and eaten.
Right.
So the one girl, she decides she's going to escape. So she gets out and she says, "Don't worry, I've ran track." And so she starts running and she jumps in the boat, and you think she makes it, and because they don't come back to her. And about 10 minutes later, they're given food and they're starting to eat it. And at the bottom of the food is like her skin that had all the tattoos on it, like skinned in the bottom of the bowl. So to show that they actually got her.
Yeah.
And then the one girl breaks her bowl and like slits her throat. And I mean, so it starts getting pretty like gruesome. And, but then they have the stoner guy stuffs weed down her throat. So when they cook her, everybody who's eating her gets high so they can plan their escape. And yeah, so that's what this movie is. It's a really weird sense of humor. It's when it gets to the village with the cannibals, it's really unrelenting. I mean, it's nonstop gore. It's nonstop people getting their throats cut, eyeballs ripped out, flesh being eaten. I mean, it's not nice.
Yeah.
But the movie's well made and it's interesting, and what happens to that Justine character is pretty harrowing. I don't want to say what happens to her because it's really spoilerish, but she, I mean, there's parts where I'm not gonna say, she just know that her situation is worse than a lot of them. And, she tries to appeal to the humanity of the people of this tribe. And does it work? Maybe. Does it not? Maybe. And it's just a really interesting, look at this. And I got the humor he was going for with the college kids knowing it all. And then going there, they don't know shit.
Right.
You know, because to those indigenous tribes, it doesn't matter. They don't know what a fucking phone is. They don't care. They eat people. That's what they do. They eat because they look at them as enemies.
Right.
So they eat their enemies. And I don't know if that still exists today, if they're still cannibal tribes. I'm sure there is.
Right.
So yeah, I just liked the opposite. So you have these college kids that think their life's hard because they're having a hunger strike for 3 days.
Right.
And then the real world is a lot more brutal than they think it is. Yeah. So if you like those kind of movies, go see it. This old lady came in with her husband behind us. She left halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah. She came in. I was like, what the fuck is this lady doing here? I mean, I know I'm going to be old like that and still watch these kind of movies.
Right.
But she seemed really out of place.
Yeah.
And so when that girl, she like slit her own throat, she's very audibly said, "I'm leaving. You can stay here if you want, Peter." And she like got up and left, and her husband stayed. So that was awesome. So yeah, that happened in that movie. And I've heard that's happened a couple times. I don't know what people expect in a cannibal movie.
Yeah.
Because basically it's a zombie movie, but you're taking away dead things eating people, and it's just normal
It's just people
eating people.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to see that kind of movie, you want to see blood and guts, and great job by K&B, you know, Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger always do a great job on special effects. Yeah, I mean,
cool.
You can watch it if you want.
Not gonna.
It's not your kind of movie.
I think I made the right choice.
Oh yeah, as I was watching it, I said, "Oh, James might like this beginning part because it's kind of clever, and you know, it's these kids that go to some probably NYU, some preppy school." And you kind of get the joke.
Knowing Eli Roth, it is NYU.
Yeah, and you get the joke, like, oh, that's funny. And then when they start the plane crash, you'd probably still be okay. But then when they start ripping tongues out, and so, oh, this is where it's going to start losing James.
If there's just got to be a point, right? Yeah. I really like Evil Dead.
It's not that kind of horror though.
Right, I know, right? Like I like Evil Dead because at the end, I'm still rooting for Mia.
Yeah. In this one, you don't want something bad to happen to Justine.
Right.
But
do I actually care?
I think you do, because I think she's a really good character. I don't think, because she was kind of, tricked into going into this, and she doesn't belong there.
Sure.
And there's some revelations where, you feel actually pretty bad for her. I don't want to spoil them, but it happens in the film, so you do root for her, and Eli Roth always has some goofy endings to his films. This one, not really, kind of, but not really. So if you're into cannibal movies, then it's a good one.
Yeah. It's funny, there was a guy after I got out of Everest, and Ryan and I were standing and talking to Kendall at the Alamo. There was an older couple walking by, this guy with his wife, and I pointed to the sign and said something about, like, I liked it. And he just shouts out, he's like, I didn't. I was like, okay. And I sort of looked at him, and he's like, and we started talking, and he was basically saying that it was just, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like, oh man, not tough to watch. It was like getting beat up a lot.
Yeah. It's like watching
excruciating.
Prisoners.
It was excruciating. Just because, like, what he kept talking about, he was like, it was just, like, my eyes are tired and my ears, like, it was so loud, because there's scenes where, like, the storm comes up and there's so much, like, stuff flying by on the screen, and then the sound gets so loud that he was just like, it was just so loud. I was like, I know. It was supposed to be excruciating.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be nice.
Yeah. But he at least made it through the movie.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And see, here the thing, too, is I don't consider these horror films, these cannibal movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe them. Because it's not
torture porn.
Torture porn? Nah. Because they're not scary to me. They're just uneasy. I mean, there's nothing... I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I would disagree with you, because I feel like what you just described kind of is torture porn. Like, it is a movie that exists on being entertaining because of the showing you something extremely brutal.
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you consider that torture porn.
Like, it revels in that. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the definition. Like, if it's Hostel or it's Saw is at least real PG torture porn. But like, if the whole point of the movie is just to show me something really gross and hard to look at.
I guess. But to me, I guess my definition of torture porn is people actually being tortured. I mean, I guess,
True, which I guess is the difference between this and Hostel. But I
guess you could say they're being tortured by getting their tongues ripped out and stuff.
Right? Yeah, like they're gonna get eaten. There's a motivation here that's different, right?
Yeah.
Like in a movie like Hostel, it's just some crazy asshole killing people because they like killing people.
Yeah.
In this, it's like, well, no, these people don't. You could almost forgive them because you're like, well, they don't know any better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because are they really bad people? I mean, that's what I.
Right. You can't judge them as bad people.
Yeah.
They're doing things that I would universally say are bad. They just don't know it.
Exactly, because you can't judge someone who doesn't know what TV and they only know one way of life. I mean,
yeah, they've never seen a horse before.
Exactly.
Right.
So I don't know.
So they don't know they could at least eat a horse.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, next week, no James, I guess.
I think so.
Maybe
sure.
James. So I'm going to see Sicario and The Martian, I think. I'm going to try to
you asshole. Oh, Merry Christmas. Happy birthday, James. We're going to go see all the good movies. That's fair, though.
I just want to see it.
I know. I agree. I totally agree with you. Yeah. I think Sicario may not be at the Alamo for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just go to the... I'll just do this. I'll go to Highlands Ranch 24 and just theater hop.
Oh, gosh. That sounds like a horrible day. Yeah.
So thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies. Bye.
Bye.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.
Comfortable if you want to use that mic?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't care.
You sound really good now. Oh, you know why? It's because I have the cables backwards.
Oh, yeah, wow.
You weren't the intake. You weren't the input that I thought you were.
Okay. Well,
this isn't the mic you're looking for. Why did
I don't know why you did that. Why did you do like Joan Rivers there?
These aren't the droids you're looking for. Those damn Jawas have sent you on a wild goose chase, Mr. Stormtrooper. It's like Woody Allen Star Wars.
Yeah. And I'm just looking for the stormtroopers.
Oh, man. Sheesh, everything's just really hot. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Good.
I've been up since about 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I woke up around 7:30.
I can't sleep in anymore. One, my little boy's, always awake, but
right.
I've been getting up at 6 for the last 2 months, so.
Yep. I woke up and went and got like sausage and stuff and made breakfast.
Nice.
But they didn't have I wanted like a spicy sausage. So, but they didn't have any at the King Supers.
What?
So, yeah, I know. But they had like some chorizo. And I was like, okay, well, I've never cooked chorizo on my own before. It was just like a slab of chorizo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought it and then I just chopped it into squares and I fried it like sausage. I didn't like it very much.
The problem with chorizo is it doesn't have as much moisture as sausage. So when you cook it, did you notice it cooked really fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't release very much grease.
I mean, it was pretty greasy by the end. It just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I think it was too spicy. And not like it was real hot, like burn your mouth spicy. It was just like it tasted like spice and not like pork.
Yeah, it's chorizo is really tricky. I only use chorizo if I make queso, and I mix it with ground pork.
Oh, okay.
Because it gives it kind of more juiciness and
Yeah.
it levels out the flavor.
I've liked it in like burritos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought the problem might just be that I tried to cook it like patties.
No.
And then it was just like, oh, now I have mouths full of chorizo, and I don't like that.
Chorizo's a weird sausage. It's and it's not your traditional breakfast.
Yeah.
It's not going to work very well.
Yeah, I wish I had just gotten a regular ass sausage
Should've.
patty.
And then you could have just added like some crushed red pepper to it or something.
I could have done that. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to work that hard. That's
I
why.
gotcha.
That's why I didn't make patties out of the chorizo. I if I could have taken scissors and cut them into squares, I would have.
I didn't want to either this morning. I woke up and Laura was still tired. And Kellen eats breakfast on at like 7:30ish.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, man, I didn't want to cook. So I just went to McDonald's and we ate sausage McMuffins.
Hell yeah, sausage McMuffins. That's like the thing for for McDonald's.
Oh yeah, and they're only $1.
Are they really only $1?
Yeah,
because I always get like the meal, so then it's like $4.
Yeah, well then you get the hash brown and the drinks.
Right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Not a bad gig.
No, not at all. Oh man, I want some McDonald's. Let's go to McDonald's. Fuck this thing.